Good morning, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. We got a great big giant announcement right after this. We better have an announcement.
And that was it. That was our announcement. We have a video. No, let's go back in time. We're going to take you back in time a little bit. So about 1 year ago, tomorrow, we were launching our first Kickstarter campaign. And right on the day of launch, the entire country shut down. And I remember we were going to have this huge party, get everybody together, and food and everything. We had the event venue ready to go and everything. And the next day, when we were ready to launch, the entire country, the entire world shut down. And what was amazing about that is we decided we're moving forward anyway. And so we launched our Kickstarter campaign March 17th, 2020, and it took off like an albatross. You know, it's like I hear the Wrecking Ball song. It took off like an albatross.
Yeah.
It was like a fumbling run, and we were running for 20 days with our campaign. It wasn't moving. And then at the final stretch there, we funded our campaign. And that's where we are today because of that campaign. I mean, we created the Tribe of Giants, the League of Giants. We printed 2,500 books 1 year ago today. Can you believe it was that long ago?
You know, it went by fast, and then there were some days where it was slow.
Yeah.
But really, looking back at it, it doesn't feel like it feels like weeks ago.
It's unbelievable what has occurred since March 17th of 2020.
I can feel all the same feelings too that were happening as we were launching, and the excitement and the anticipation, the not knowing. The anxiety. You mentioned a little bit of anxiety this morning.
I got anxiety this morning.
We feel that too. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the beauty of that is that anxiety can really push us to do something great. And so here's what we're announcing. We are announcing our second Kickstarter. Starting tomorrow morning, we're going to go after a second round of raising funds for the League of Giants. And we want you to be a part of it. We want you to help spread the word around it. Our goal is to raise $8,555 in the next 30 days. And what I know about last time is we can absolutely do that. My goal is beyond that. Yeah, I'd love to see us raise $1 million in the next 30 days. I think that's a possibility. But as a stretch, $8,500 would be easy. We can do that. See, we just stretch you up here and just come down here. So we are going to be launching our second Kickstarter, and I want to give you just a taste of what that's going to look like here. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me open this up so that you can see it. Can you see that all right, Ryan?
Yeah.
So this is our Kickstarter page, and this will go live tomorrow morning. And for the next 30 days, you'll hear us talking about this incessantly. And so the reason we're doing that is because this opens up even more possibilities. You look at what's happened over the last year. In 30 days, we raised enough money to buy all the books that we needed, market this the way that we needed. And we grew a tribe of over 2,500 highly engaged giants from around the world. That was all within a year. We have the League of Giants. We have our school programs that we started. We did our first school event. We just got a letter this morning from a principal at Panorama Elementary that says she's having us back in the fall, and she's telling other principals that she wants them to come see us so she can see what this the whole thing is about, which I think is pretty cool. So I want to just scroll through really quickly and just show you what the Kickstarter campaign is going to look like, some of the offers that we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. This isn't live yet, so we're giving you a preview. It'll go live tomorrow morning.
Well, same day anniversary of our launch. Yep, we did St. Patrick's Day. We were thinking about the little people, the Irish. And we thought, hey, that's kind of a fun day to launch
Yeah.
a giant Kickstarter.
What better day to launch for giants than on a day of leprechauns, right?
Yeah. And then all the luck in the world was swallowed up by COVID.
And then it was just all effort. It was
So
awesome.
we had to cancel our party. We had a party like it was going to be awesome. And then we didn't all of a sudden. But you know what? We adapted and we changed, and so this was it made us push and stretch, just like you know growing into your giant potential does.
Yeah.
And we asked some advice from another guy, and he said, we said, what do we do? We have we're like halfway funded, and we have a week left. And he said, pray and go to work.
Yeah.
So we did exactly that. Maybe we were too stupid. I don't know what we were too stupid to accept anything else. And I prayed a lot, and we ran like crazy, and we hit it.
We did everything we could think of to reach our goal, and we ended up reaching the goal.
And you know what? Like, I'm looking at comments and the people that are on here, and the people that are inside of the tribe. And I know it's early for a lot of people, or people maybe might be starting to go to work and things like that, so they might catch the replay. But all of the people that, like, there's so many people that weren't even around last year at this time.
Didn't even know that this existed.
Because of the efforts that we pushed, that we found other giants who led us to other giants, who led us to other opportunities, who created, and I'm looking at the comments of the people that are here that created the tribe of giants with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Because this is, our goal with this campaign, this new campaign is, we'll share some announcements here that we're doing, some little things that we're doing, but our goal is to take the message even further, to create even more of a global community. So I'm going to go through it real quick and just show you just a preview of the Kickstarter campaign. This is what you'll see coming into it. You're going to see the video, the book trailer right at the top. There's a button over here on the right that says back this project, and that's where you can pledge. And over on the right-hand side, this is on a computer. So if you're on your phone, it might look a little different. There might be a button that just says pledge here or back this project. But the pledges, one of the first things that we've offered here is the official Giants and Smalls coloring book. I've got the artist working on the illustrations for the coloring book. There's a little preview of some of the line art. My daughter, they're coloring some of the line art that was created around this, but we're getting our official artist, Juan Tumburus, to create a coloring book for the Giants and the Smalls, because it's been requested over and over is, do you have a coloring book? Even adults want the coloring book. They wanted something to dive into. And I think that's pretty amazing. And so we've got that coming. The other thing that we're announcing is a collector's edition leather-bound Giants and Smalls book. And so this will be a hand-stitched leather-bound book, gold embossed on the front. It'll look something similar to this. It'll be the story plus we'll be adding some additional items inside of it, so that you get the book, but it's something you'll want to hang on to forever. In a time where everybody's stuck to their phones and swiping through, there's some people that are going to want a finer edition that they can just hang on to. And this will be a signed edition, hand-stitched, really nice. I mean, we got some companies locally that'll do this for us. It's a little more money to do this one. Yeah. So it is priced a little higher because it is expensive to create these. But we have a leather-bound edition of the Giants and the Smalls, and we're going to throw some additional things into that to make it even more valuable. So it will be a variation of the original book. But some of our pledges, you can still buy the book. You can buy cases of the book. You can sponsor. Here's another thing that we're doing. We're sponsoring events for charities. So you can sponsor an event with a charitable organization. So we have the Pure Hope Foundation that we want to team up with down in Texas. It's a ranch
Catherine Lee's group.
Yep. And so we want to make sure that we get them books and then also a visit for these girls that have been rescued from sex trafficking. That's another big thing that we're doing. Richard Paul Evans, the Christmas Box House. We're going to be sponsoring that. So you can sponsor an event there where they get books and training. And then also school visits. You can sponsor a school visit. And this is something new. where we'll go into the school like we did at Panorama Elementary, and then you're going to help the school afford that, because some of the budgets have been cut this year because of COVID, and school visits have been shut down. And so we're looking at workarounds. How can we help the schools get this message? How can we create a culture of giants? And so there's different ways that you can participate. You could even just donate. If you want to just donate, you could just do that and not get any reward. And that would be okay too. That's a possibility.
Reward in your heart.
Reward in your heart.
You know what, though, Nick? Like, so going back to the school real quick, if
Yep.
you didn't see any of that stuff, like if you're newer to the tribe and you didn't see any of our posts on that, you might be able to go back and maybe we can include some keyword searches to find those visits, but in the comments later. But I'm telling you what, like, we didn't know exactly how it was going to go. I remember driving down to southern Utah with you, and we're in the car, we're putting the final touches on creating, like, in our mind how it was going to go and what we were going to say, what we we're going to do. And as we stepped into the creation of that and talking about it, it went, fairly like we had come up with these inspirations, or we had these inspirations and these thoughts as we were driving down, and we implemented them while we were there. And those things, I think, were, in my opinion, they were divinely inspired. And as we were inside of those classrooms, I'm going to get emotional, and watching those kids, we went to class to class to class. We saw 500 kids that day, 10 minutes per classroom. And that's not a lot of time. Like, we were pushed and rushed through it a little bit. The principal would say, hey, time, we got to go to the next class. We hit every single grade level, every single classroom, and we're able to talk to them for about 10 minutes a class. And to watch those kids at the beginning, when Nick asked them a question, he said, who feels like a giant? And a few hands would go up. And then to explain what a giant is, and that they have giant potential and that we see it in them, and to have Nick get down on their level. That emotion is so real. And to see them, the light in their eyes, and the possibility thinking and the imagination, and to breathe a little bit of hope back into them, because society and life starts getting at them, especially the older they got. It was amazing when Nick re-asked the question, who's a giant, who sees themselves as a giant? At the end, every single hand went up. It was so special to see. The class picked, well, the teachers picked a kid that needed maybe a little extra. We're going to call it that, a little extra. They called him down to the principal's office. They would come down, and they sat down in the principal's office, and one kid comes in kind of shy and quiet, and he thought he was in trouble. So the principal said, why do you think you've been called down to the office today? The kid starts getting a little bit sad, like a little bit scared, thought he was in trouble. And we got to tell him the exact opposite, that we see him. And the kid's face lit up. To have Nick give him a signed copy, his very own copy of the book. I mean, those kids were holding these books just like this. That was the power of the story, and of the message that Nick has been inspired to write, create. And that's why we're doing this. Because we want to get into more schools. We want to get into and touch as many lives as possible. Our goal is 100 million to get in front of, and to where we can help make the biggest impact and difference we feel is get at these kids before life gets at them, where they can see that they can be, do, or have anything that they want, that they are giants, that they have it all inside them right now.
That right there is the whole purpose of it. You know, the coloring book is nice, the leather bound book is nice, the additional hard copies will be nice, but it's what it can do beyond that, of who it can touch, who it can impact. We got the letter this morning from the principal on the school, and one of the things she said here, she read the book to her students over KPAN radio, so they would just zoom it over the TVs in the classrooms. After about 2 months, she read the entire book. They were beginning to use phrases like, "Is that a giant decision?" And "How can you be giant today?" And so when I showed up, they were very familiar with who I am and this book and what it was all about. And each teacher chose a student to receive an autographed copy of the book. And so when I went in there, and Ryan and I went in there, we chose students as well that we thought should receive a book, kids that we felt could benefit from receiving a book. And the coolest thing was every one of those kids, the biggest question they would ask is, what inspired this? Like, what inspired you to write a book? Because in their mind, they're thinking, can I do that? Can I be inspired? One of the beautiful things about development is that between the ages of 0 and 25 is that kids are leaning on adults to teach them to develop their brains properly so that they can go out and function in the world. And when they can start to think as a kid, am I a giant? Can I be a giant? Is that a giant thing to do? It creates this positive behavior in them where you get ahead of the problem. You get ahead of the problem of these kids going out in the world feeling like they don't matter, feeling like they're nothing, and even adults feeling that way. You have the ability to change your brain, and this book gives people a chance to do that through a metaphor, through a story. This is what she said after doing this. She said, "This is a book you must read. This is a book you never knew you needed." This is a book that will remind you that dribbling a basketball is more important than the actual shot, because you can't shoot if you can't dribble to the hoop. You can't become a giant unless you make those giant decisions each and every day over and over again. You know, this whole program is more than just raising funds. It's what these funds can do. You know, we made an impact over the past year, but over the next year, we hope to even make a bigger impact. And so that's what these funds are going to go toward, is to impact the lives of 100 million giants globally, to open up possibilities for giants in Australia and Canada and the UK and India. We have giants all over the world, to find ways to create this in such a way that they have access to it easily and affordably wherever they are in the world. And so this allows us to create that. As you look through the Kickstarter, when it opens up tomorrow, you'll be able to read the story again of how this came about and why this book is what it is, how it became, in our mind, and this hasn't been created yet, a global bestseller, how it is becoming a movie, you know, and the reason for those things is, why a movie? Because that impacts more lives. Why a book? Because that impacts more lives. It gives somebody something they didn't know they needed. Mm-hmm. And over again, we keep hearing, I didn't know I needed this book. This is exactly what I needed. This message resonates. I mean, you could be Oprah Winfrey and this message will resonate with you. You could just be starting out on your journey as a 4-year-old kid who calls me up and says, I want to talk about being a giant. Mm. And so it doesn't matter where you are in your life, you have that potential. And that's what this program is in order for us to get out to the world, money helps that. It helps us to fund the things that we need to do to be able to go out there and create it even bigger. And so that's why we're doing this Kickstarter campaign. This is something that's going to help us expand the message even further. And so we'd love your help supporting it and growing it and announcing it and sharing it. We've got 30 days, a 30-day window to create the money. And our goal is to surpass that, to just blow past it.
Yeah, I remember like talking about like, okay, well, where do we go? Because our first goal was actually higher. Our first goal was actually higher in our first Kickstarter campaign. And that was one of the, like, we didn't have a tribe of giants.
Right.
We didn't have that. We didn't have anything. Like, we had hardly anything. We had some family, some friends, some people that had seen the book, and COVID hit, and everybody's wallets tightened up. And the reason was because they were unsure of what was going to happen. There was a lot of fear, if you remember back.
Yeah.
And we looked at it this time, and we kind of felt like going less than what we had originally thought about before was kind of small, really.
Yeah.
But we were like, look, let's put a smaller goal and blow past it, and help, like, paint that vision of where we want to go from here again. Because we, really truly, we didn't know how to put a number on it. We didn't know how to put a number on the feelings and the impact that this does. And we had no idea. I'll tell you what, I've put a lot of my own money in, and you've put a lot of your own money in, just because. And every single penny of it was 100% worth it because of one experience. And we've had thousands of experiences over the last year.
Yeah.
I would do it all again, to see that one kid come into the principal's office. There was several, and I got them captured on video, and I'll never forget them. I will never forget those experiences, and the light in the kids' eyes, and also the sadness and the scared and the fear and the darkness and the things that the world starts putting on the weights of the shoulders of those kids, and then watching it come off, and them step out and start thinking about, what if?
Yeah.
Why not me? All the questions that we talk about, the possibility thinking, somebody shows them a different path, and that they have the opportunity to go down it. And as they start to move forward down that path, what happens?
Yeah.
I mean, we had a girl that said she was going to be president of the United States, and I believed her. Like, I was like, wow, like, you have my vote. This is amazing. Like, she was passionate. She was so excited to share it, that goals, and how driven she was. And yeah.
I want to hit on this, Hugh. 50 plus seeds have been planted in Yuma, Arizona in just the last month alone. I love this, that you're using the word seed, because for the past month and a half now, roughly, I've been putting these books out in the world like seeds into the world. That there's an exchange of value for that book, sure. But the seed that is planted by that book is even more valuable. It's like, you can have a single apple, or you can plant an apple tree. And this is the idea, that this book is that apple tree. It's that seed that you get to plant that's going to be abundance for your life. It's going to create abundance for our life. It's a magical seed. Like, not only do we get to plant it, but this magical seed gets to bring back to us what we need the most in our life, whatever that is. And so planting this seed with others, planting this seed for ourselves, is really going to open up opportunities we have no idea even exist right now. There's programs out there that we're not even aware of, because we're
giants
so
out
in our
there that
world.
we're not aware of.
Yep. So over the next year, these seeds that are planted, Hugh, I just want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
That these seeds that are planted are going to open up even more for this program, for the Giants Initiative, which is to create more giants into the world, to create people who are going after their highest potential. And so that's our goal, to enhance what we're doing with the League of Giants, to bring more people to the tribe of giants, and to grow a global community. And so we won't drone on too long here. We've gone 25 minutes, but stay tuned. I think, Ryan, tomorrow morning we do a live launch.
Mm-hmm.
We do that. We'll schedule that out and send out an announcement. So we'll do a live launch on this, and just see what we can create in that space. And then we're going to work over the next 30 days to fund this goal. And so we appreciate you guys. Ryan, is there anything else coming up for you?
Tons of gratitude, just lots of gratitude for the tribe and for the people that have come along on the way, because to me, with our paths crossing and intersecting, what that tells me is that along the way through life, even through the ups and the downs, and some of you had some some heartache and some heavy things that have happened in your life, some challenges, right? And I know some of them, and I know that they're big, and you grew through it and decided to step out, and because of that, we all met up. And so I appreciate you. And sharing. A lot of you have shared your journey with us, and those things are so important to me. They are so valuable and so treasured. And I appreciate you guys. Michelle, Hugh, Mancherry, Melissa, Lori, Nora, our red marble, Davey, Aaron, Robert, all the people that are on. There's a lot more of you, and I can't name you all, but I appreciate all of you. And you know who you are, and those that are participating, and those that are silent as well, that are watching from the sidelines, that are also helping, and that are sharing your light, and those that aren't even sharing, that are there. We appreciate you. We see you, and we're so grateful and glad that you're on the journey with us. And so that's all that was coming up today is those emotions and feelings from a year ago, those same ones.
Yeah.
But then also knowing what this can do in the lives of others and what it's done in our lives, to help spread the message. So
I think one final thought around this is we don't know how this is going to occur. All we know is that this will be funded by the end of 30 days plus.
Yeah.
That's it. And use that for yourself, because you might not know how you're going to reach your goal, but all you know is that goal is the pathways are going to open up as you step. And we are stepping today, launching tomorrow. We're going to start stepping tomorrow into the uncertainty. And that's a mirror for what you need to do for your life. So step into the uncertainty. Just know that the thing that you are creating already is. It already is. How you're going to get there, that is not.
That's the adventure.
Yeah, that's the adventure.
That's the writ climbing the giant. That's the pathway. That's there's fear and gratitude and abundance and all the things that come into that journey. We're excited to see how it unfolds.
So we are open to the uncertainty, and we are open to it becoming how it becomes, however it does that. All we know is we're going to step. So guys, make it a giant day. Thank you so much. And we'll be launching tomorrow morning. Big announcement. We're going to change the world. See you in the next video.